nice to be seen.
Um, well, the New Year's Eve stuff wasn't too good in New Orleans, but I remember
That's
Kent and I living on Canal Street for 2 days of the first weekend we were there, but
crazy.
yeah, crazy.
And then they think that Las Vegas truck bomber was um, possibly some connection there. And then there was that thing in Germany. They think
Yeah.
they all might be tied together, but they're not sure.
Well, then there's also the Tesla truck that was up in New York in front of um, Trump Towers that blew up that was rented
No,
from,
that was Las Vegas.
oh, Las Vegas. Okay. Well, that was rented from the same company as
Yeah.
the guy in New Orleans did.
I can't imagine that they're saying that there's at the time they're not sure there's any connection, but kind of sounds strange.
Yeah.
Same company, some and weren't they both? I mean, the Cybertruck was electric. What about the other one? I thought I heard it
It's
was
a,
electric, but maybe
I don't
that
know,
was
it's
rumor.
a pickup truck.
The other
Yeah,
thing
the
I
one
saw
in
on the
Newark.
news today is both those guys were active Army. The New Orleans guy, although has a strange name, he was born in this country, so he's a natural born citizen. He served in the military, and both those guys served at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Oh, that too. Oh, wow.
They're not sure whether they served at the same time in the same unit or what, but they also served in Afghanistan at roughly the same time, but they're not sure if they were in the same units or anything. So um,
Mike,
the
you need to go to work for fucking CNN.
And I was just thinking,
well, at least I tell the freaking truth. Um, no, I just watch the news a lot. I don't have much else to do these days, and so I watch a lot of the news. But
Hey,
you
Bill.
Bill,
it's going to be interesting to see what comes out with all that stuff in the next couple of
yeah.
weeks. Hi,
And it
Bill.
was the guy in on Bourbon Street only got about 3 blocks, right?
He only
Yeah,
got one block.
started at Canal Street,
He crashed that
made it
neighborhood.
up. He made it up to where the famous door is.
oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
About a half block from the mustache. Right,
And the
right
thing that
over the famous door. Where
the thing they said was a crane. Was that one of those police observatory things?
I don't
You know, with
think it was. They were doing some construction. They didn't move that crane for
a,
whatever reason for New Year's.
I think they said they were doing some light work with it. It was one of those like not like a cherry picker, but something where you can elevate workers and do some work with lights, is what I understand.
It's a good thing that crane was there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it looked like he ran into that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But right at the famous door, the beginning of the famous door. For
Yeah, I
those
remember that.
all y'all work on Bourbon Street, you know where that's at. Right there
Mhm.
is where it stopped. Right before the famous door.
It was right by the
Okay.
Royal Sonesta. Huh?
Yeah, in front of Royal Sonesta.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right across from where hooligans used to be.
A little
yeah.
bit further
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
A little bit further down,
A
about
little
a
further.
quarter of a block further.
yeah, there's nighttime in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's crazy now. I wonder if we'll ever find out what the motivation was. When somebody, like both there and in Vegas, the guy in Vegas in the pickup truck was, they said they couldn't even identify the body because the
Mhm.
whole thing burned up, so they won't know his motivation. They might find something, but also the guy, got killed in the by the police or whatever, the shootout. But what motivates somebody to go and do the shit that they did? That's just.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
I was thinking as I heard about that the gazillion times that all of us were on Bourbon Street, and it could have happened, like what they used to open the street, what, it's 2 or 3 in the morning, but anytime up to then, you could have driven a truck down there and killed gazillions of people. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, the
just
Las Vegas
what,
guy was from Colorado. His name's
yeah,
Livelsburg, something like that.
Well, that's what
Mhm.
my worry. Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
fucking copycat guy
I
comes to
think
Mardi Gras. There's no way they could put bollards up for all
well,
Mardi Gras.
during Mardi Gras, you don't have to go down Bourbon Street to see that many people, though.
that's
During
true.
Mardi Gras,
That's
you
what
go
I'm
down the
saying.
house. Yeah,
My worry is a copycat for Mardi Gras anywhere in the city.
yeah.
Well, I was looking at the crowd that's walking into the Superdome today for the Georgia Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
You know, it looked just like that. There were gazillions of people.
Mhm.
So,
Do any of y'all remember? This was back in the early '70s when I was working there. There was the police were chasing a guy who stole a car, and he came down Bourbon Street, and the same thing. He wasn't targeting people, but the police were chasing him at high speed, and they had just those barricades and to protect the cross sections, and he was hitting those, and he killed a few people, and ended up crashing close to Mr. Perky's. Because I had just gotten to work and Bonnie, I didn't have cell phone back then, but Bonnie's calling the mustache, if I'm okay, because she heard it on the news. And I had gotten in, I think, just before the guy had done it, So this was in the
Yeah, I
early
don't remember
'70s.
that.
Recall that? Yeah.
Hmm.
But it was one of those things how the police decide they're going to chase a guy who stole a car, even if they're going down a heavily populated street.
Yeah.
I'll dig around. I'm sure I could find it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sounding a little funky, but it's nothing to do with my heart. I started getting a bad cough New Year's Eve, and it hasn't gotten any better. No fever, but it's probably just picked up one of those colds.
And you look freaking great.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look-
yeah.
I was telling everybody we're walking 5 miles a day. That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't do any today. I've been feeling a little bit puny, but yeah, you can't. They don't want you to do anything else, So basically, I can get up and walk around the house. I even walk while I'm watching the news or watching football or something, just instead of sitting still. They said the more I can be up on my feet moving, the better. So
That's,
think next
that's the
Wednesday
truth.
is-
Yeah.
I think next Wednesday is my cardiology appointment. Well, it's not just the appointment; it's going to be the nuclear stress test and whatever else.
You ever had one of those?
Yeah, some time back. Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah, I
that
had
what
one
with
3 4 years ago. It's not real bad, but it's not real fun either.
Yeah.
isn't that where they come out with the syringe in a lead box and
yeah,
open it up and it's like, holy shit.
I've had that before. They inject you with that, and it can do some fine detail work. They follow the path of your blood all throughout your entire heart, even
Yeah.
the little smaller blood vessels.
Mm.
And
Put a big thing in your wrist or your groin to put the camera up in.
No, I didn't. They didn't do that. Well, that was an angiogram. I did that separately from my stress test. The nuclear stress test, they follow it with a radio, some kind of machine. They can see where your blood, where the blood is circulating.
Yeah, they put a dye in your blood and make you sit there for a while and then do it, and then they test you without it and then with it a couple of times. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't they don't have to insert anything into you to do that.
For me, they did. They put a big thing that the technician called a pig in my wrist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a big thing with a port where you put the camera in. Well, they said it was a nuclear test, but it was a camera plus plus being in a CAT scan or something. So
Well,
they run a camera up to check the stuff.
Who's Gim?
How you
sounds like
doing?
an angiogram.
How you doing?
Jim,
Howdy again.
How's
Happy New
things?
Year.
Got a little excitement down your way, huh?
Yeah. It's the kind of thing. It's stuff like that just changes everything.
Sure does.
You got Mardi Gras coming up, Super Bowl, and there.
I got the Cotton Bowl right now.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Right in New Orleans.
One of them bowls, anyway. One of them bowls.
Yeah. Sugar Bowl is today at 3, and they I don't know. It's I'm sure they're gonna. Remember one time there was a shooting at a Mardi Gras parade early on, and they canceled a lot of the parades. I think when you came in town, Tom.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
you-
they had that shooting at the Howard Johnson's. That's when the guy
yeah.
set fire on a bunch of floors, and then he started shooting firemen.
Mm.
And then he went up to the top, and they called in a Marine helicopter
Yeah.
Yeah.
and fired about 1,050 caliber bullets at him, and
Yeah.
they got him.
Yeah.
That changed the whole town. It's amazing how those things do. I mean, Columbine, when they had the shooting at Columbine here, high school 20 plus years ago,
1999.
that just that changes everything.
Yeah.
There's a psychic something that ripples throughout the community
Yeah.
And
It takes a while to recover from it.
Well, I wished it did change everything. I would take exception to that comment because we still have school shootings and we still have these silly ass people driving trucks into crowds, and
Yeah.
that's been going on for what 30 years, and nothing's changed.
Like, I know we're recording, but I just want to say this. Like me, I get irritated when I have to look at the guy's ugly face on the TV a lot of times with them showing his name over and over. I think what you should do is not keep showing his face and just drop his name completely. Call him murderous steaming sack of shit number 12.
There you go.
Like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Don't agree with, just, I don't
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah.
I heard a thing about, and I don't know how true this is, but I heard a thing this afternoon on the news about some guy in Virginia, but they found 150 pipe bombs, and he was
Oh yeah,
practicing,
right. That guy, right.
he's practicing shooting pictures of Joe Biden, and while trying to work to get a sniper's license or a sniper qualification or something. So it's pretty.
But
Yeah.
According to the
There's
press,
enough stupid fucking wackos out there to make the world go bullshit.
according to the press, that was the biggest stash of weaponry
Yeah.
or explosives that the FBI has ever found.
Yeah.
Pipe bombs. I mean, that's not your normal. That's not your normal.
150 of them.
Nice hobby, huh?
Oh,
Shit.
Lord. Me.
Too bad the son of a bitch didn't blow himself up.
mm,
And
yeah.
it's because now, like at the Capitol, they put up a fence all around the Capitol for the inauguration, and every time they have something happen, now they put it up, and it's really sad because 30 years ago when I first started working here, I worked in the Capitol a lot, and it was great. You know, you'd go in there and you'd do some work, you'd grab a sandwich, you'd go sit on the lawn because it was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Now you can't. It takes you so long to get in. You don't leave for anything until you're ready to go home.
Mhm.
And it's sad, real sad.
But
But-
I'm wondering if this guy had done his homework a little better, if he would have noticed that there was that crane parked in the second block, maybe tried something else,
Well, I'm sitting here looking at the on my bigger computer screen behind my laptop, and here's the headline on CNN that says New Orleans attacker had remote IED detonator in truck.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They found there was some other bombs.
I mean, it could have been. I mean, who knows how bad it could have? Shitty as it was, who knows how bad it could have been had he been competent at what he was doing.
Chris,
Chris, from Italy.
He was wearing
Yes.
body armor.
Proud
And
of
everything.
Ciao, ciao.
Buongiorno.
Ciao a tutti.
So it's about 11 o'clock at night.
It is. It's just a little bit after 11.
Snack of the evening.
We had a great day. We've had a great couple of days here. Been here since last Sunday.
Mhm.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
We've all
Thank
been
you,
talking
Rancho.
about the shooting in New Orleans, but John Gill sent a video from it's a 1964 video about that shows Greenwich Village, and in the end of it, it shows your father's Mustang.
The main body fabric is
So I'm trying to get that up, but now
Okay.
we've got some kind of.
I was there then.
Yeah.
Well, that's happier than talking about the truck driver in New Orleans. So it's good.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
through
Nice.
You know if you can hear it.
the two
Well, you
looms
got-
weave
You have a video about the coats on right now.
when they weave into
There it is.
Can you hear it?
No,
Not yet.
No, I can't.
No.
Okay, let me
It definitely looks like 60s Greenwich Village, though.
Looks like 60s anywhere.
Mm.
share sound. Okay, got that now. Turn off voice. Okay.
There it is.
It comes up in a minute.
Well, she weighs 400 pounds, she's a charmer, and she's here to launch a new dance appropriately called the elephant. The idea is to imitate the movements of an elephant's trunk while walking around in a circle and holding the hand of the dancer in front of you. It's the downtown where everybody swings, even a baby elephant. They imported this one right out of New Orleans. They call it Your Father's Mustache, and every night is a rehash of New Year's Eve.
I know those guys.
This emporium of Dixieland Jazz and Fun is at 7th Avenue and 10th Street. And of course, it's in the Village.
That was
That's
terrific.
good.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
center of our screen looks much the same as many.
Okay. Did you all hear that?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
The band
John.
looks so clean cut.
And the whole thing's like 23 minutes long, and there's all this stuff from Greenwich Village. So maybe I'll post it on the invitation. So if y'all want to watch the whole thing, you can.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They said
Okay.
that they imported it from New Orleans, but New York was up before New Orleans was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yes, it
think
was.
that's because it was on the bottom of the sign, and the
Oh,
writer
okay.
just saw that and said, "Oh, it's from New Orleans."
Oh, I got you.
But
Oh, well, that was a nice clip.
John Gill sent it.
Great clip.
Did you know all the players in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jay Brackett on trombone, Steve Kagan on tuba, Beisel, Joel, and me, and Joe Terra. Yeah. Joe Terra looked terribly young in that, didn't he? Ooh,
So did you.
ooh, scary.
But see, that's where they well, it says St. Louis there. I mean,
Over on the other side, it
it
says.
came from the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled a bunch of I was trying to pull pictures up of all the different clubs because they're just nice. That's the New York Club,
Yep, sure.
and
How many times we stood under that little awning?
Oh yes, for sure.
here's the St. Louis Club. Did anybody play there?
Not me.
I was there 2 nights when it opened. I was there. Didn't last long, that one. Too bad.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It does.
When I walked through the door Friday afternoon, the paint was still wet. And,
Was it black paint or red paint?
I'm talking about internally. That I don't remember.
Yeah, it just seems like everything's black and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the part.
How long was that open?
I think it was 2
6
years.
months or a year or?
It wasn't long, 2 years max, maybe 2 months,
Oh,
but
okay.
it wasn't longer than 2 months because the lease had to go longer than that. But
It was a part of St. Louis. That's where I grew up. It was part of a town called Gaslight Square.
Yeah.
that's it. That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, let's get rid of that.
Hmm.
Now this is. Was it?
Ah.
What club was this?
That's a new one. I have never seen that before.
Okay. Thought it was something in Europe.
Probably so.
Might be.
There were 2 clubs in Europe, one in Brussels, but there was another one that I believe was in Italy somewhere, but it was a franchise.
Well, We had one in Blackpool, England. That could be.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But that wasn't this one.
Yeah, well, this one looks like almost like it's a cake.
Or
Yeah.
yeah. And then there were summer clubs in Point Pleasant and
Yeah, I remember Point Pleasant. I remember
there was one other summer club back there on the East Coast.
Summers Point.
Yeah, Summers Point.
I remember that one too.
Yeah, I played both of those, and that's not it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you spent the summer there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my first summer I played there, and then I would go only on the weekends I went there and played the rest of the time in Philadelphia. And then I drove back and forth with Sonny Helmer.
There was one more club up. It was a franchise too up in Vancouver.
Right.
This is just another view of St. Louis.
Right.
Boy,
Looks
those
slick,
cars-
Those
man.
old cars.
Those
I
cars
love
in
it.
the day, those things that's long enough to be an RV.
That's right.
Right.
Somewhere in the 60s.
Yeah. Parallel parking was a challenge for sure.
God.
You didn't even have to crumple up a body to put it in the trunk.
I love the white wall tires. I like it. Does anybody have white walls anymore? I don't think so.
I've never even seen any in the last 34 years.
They have all these weird hubcaps that spin in all different directions.
They
And
even
then
have-
behind us, that Ford Falcon, that's just a economy car. That
Oh,
Ford
yes.
Falcon station wagon looks like.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that
you're
front car,
I think you're right. Yeah.
big car is not a Pontiac, is it? That's a beautiful
Either-
car.
the
Either a
Bonneville.
Pontiac or an Oldsmobile.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a Pontiac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Pontiac. Must be a Bonneville. It's not a GTO or those other fast
No.
cars. It looks like that's the big family car there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one
8
of those.
miles to gallon of gas,
Yeah.
No
When cars had
seatbelts.
some style and class.
That's right. You could have a wreck and not get hurt.
Not one damn seatbelt in it either, I bet you.
Nope.
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 And it's also, if you watch some of the old movies and stuff, when they had those kind of cars, people got in on the passenger side and slid over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had that bench seat, and then if your parents were really, anal retentive about cleanliness, they put the plastic seat covers
Yeah.
over it,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
could really slide over.
And then they parked the car in the sun and those things got hot.
That's right.
And my family still has a 59 Chevy station wagon with a third seat that faces backwards.
I'm
Bought it new
guessing
in
with,
59.
I'm guessing with the size of those doors, if you try to get in on the driver's side, you open the door, you'd be blocking the entire street.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
My mom had an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and it was a 2-door.
Oh, Mom.
And if you opened up, well, she had to open up the door. It really did block the entire street. The door was so wide on that car.
All right, here's Roger's not on today, but Dave's here.
Yeah.
There's a couple of characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when we shot those pictures, it was fun. Barry Kaiser did a great
There's
job.
Barry right there.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Barry
that.
still shoots.
David gave it to me. You remember that, David?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Barry is still shooting photographs in the French Quarter. Yeah, he does a great job. He teaches photography and he also shoots for himself. Yeah.
That's a good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, you look the same.
That's
Say
true.
what?
You look the same.
Here's one.
That's nice.
It was a birthday last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Mr. Wolf
great.
had a mustache cake.
In
Yeah,
that quote.
happy belated birthday,
nice.
Tom.
Thank you.
Well, 73. Oh, Lord, I remember 73.
That was my first time at Mardi Gras.
That's right.
When you were 73?
No, in 1973.
It was a good year.
Yes, it was. That was fun.
Yeah.
I know we showed this picture before, but it does. I like the outside of the mustache with the marquee, and it's got Joel in it.
Oh, yeah.
Rizzo's Pizza behind him.
Rizzo's. We downed a few pizzas at that place too.
Mm.
You know, you don't have to wander too far in New Orleans to find a place to eat. Up and down. I think that's why the tourists like to come here. I mean, basically, you don't have to take cabs all over the place. You get down to a certain area and you can hoof it and see there's a huge variety of restaurants, entertainment, you know, food, everything. I like that picture.
And a wide variety of humanity, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And you can purchase things on the street, too.
That's right.
Yeah, Lucky Dogs.
Yeah, and pharmaceuticals.
Hot dogs, Lucky Dogs, chili dogs.
Yeah, Nola Express. And Harry Krishnas were all up and down the street, too. You know, in a group called The Process, they would wear these huge, they would wear blue robes and they had a huge silver cross. And their MO is they would always try to hand you something so you would take it, like something free, you know, and then they would start asking you for, you know, the thing is all you can do is just put your hands in your pocket, don't want it, buy it, you know, it's like, yeah.
And who from New Orleans remembers Ruthie the Duck Lady?
I remember
Sure.
Ruthie. Yeah. I've got a picture of her somewhere. I don't know where it is right now.
Well, this is I'm not sure what. I think this is St. Louis.
Yeah, I think so.
But the guy playing the tuba, he used to come on.
Yep.
On the
Right, he
Zoom.
did.
He was from Boston. I'm trying to remember his name, but he was from Boston and went out to St. Louis to play there.
But he came on a Zoom 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think this is Sonny Helmer turned around.
Could be. Could be. Alan Doxey on the right, but the other two guys I don't know.
It's when Alan had that little pencil mustache.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The Boston Blackie kind.
You remember Boston Blackie? Holy smokes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You're older than you look.
You can see him
Actually,
on YouTube.
it's lyrics to a song. You know, I wish I had a pencil thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind.
Two-toned Ricky Ricardo jacket and an autographed picture of Andy Devine at Jimmy
That's
Buffett song.
Yeah. An autographed picture of Sky's niece Penny.
So were you guys the Mustache Stompers? Is that what the name of it you guys were in all the clubs?
I think so.
Yeah.
Never used it in New Orleans. I don't know that I remember.
Yeah.
That must have been early on because the signs were relatively clean. They hadn't been all scarred up and covered
Weren't
with
we all?
smoke and beer.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, back in the old days when you could smoke, you know, in places, including airplanes. I shudder at that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember being on an airplane, being like one row into the non-smoking section.
Yeah, boy, was it brutal, wasn't it?
Yes.
Did you guys smoke then at all?
I never did.
I did.
Me either.
I did. That's why I've got COPD.
No, I never
Honestly.
smoked.
Oh,
Never
really?
smoked,
Oh, what a
I
shame.
think I got the equivalent of it after 4 years at the mustache, but you know.
There you go.
Well, secondhand
Yeah,
smoke does do you in after a point, but
Yeah.
God, I smoked for until 69, then I quit.
Yeah, no, when they did my complete workup, they did see some nodes on my lungs that were very, very small, like under 3 millimeters. And they had compared it to something on an X-ray they did a few years ago, and none of them had grown. So they said you just probably could have been from secondhand smoke. You might have had pneumonia or whatever. They say if it's malignant, it'll like double in size within about 3 or 4 months. So apparently, so
I have a CAT scan Sunday because I've got some nodes on my lungs. We'll see.
yeah.
They already know you've got nodes. Is that why they're taking a look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they usually monitor it about once a year or so if they're
Okay.
not growing.
That's interesting.
Where was that?
That's
New
in
York.
New York, New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the battery's
Oh, I
down.
love that song in that movie.
Yeah.
Jim and Chris, how many times we sat at that round bar?
More times than I can count.
On the nights when I didn't play, they used to let me bartend the sidebar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. You make more money playing with tips than you do playing the banjo.
Some nights I did.
Absolutely. We didn't get paid a whole lot of money back then, did we?
Well, it was a lot for me.
I just like going home with cash in my pocket.
Yeah.
It's all true.
It took me a while after I stopped the mustache and got a regular job to realize you go to work and you don't go home with the money for that day. You know.
If you've never been to the New York Club, you'll know that majority of the seating is not in this photo.
Now it's off to the
Right.
right. Yeah.
To the right.
Yeah, that was a big
I was in the
club.
New York Club once, but I didn't. I'd had several adult beverages, and I don't recall a whole lot there. So it's good to see this picture.
Yes, indeed. I guess did they do the bar song on the circular bar? Or was it something bigger down the side? When y'all did the bar songs there, did y'all do on that bar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on the round part of the bar.
Okay.
But bar
Requires
songs-
a new level of skill to do bar songs if you got to do it on a round bar.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
It wasn't a big thing in New York. You might do it one time a night when I was there.
Oh,
But in New Orleans, you did one a set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was later on. When I was there 64 to 70, and I don't recall bar songs being any kind of a big deal at all.
Yeah, we did one a set when I was there, Jim.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you did the bar song.
you brought the tradition with you, and it worked. So
I can remember the band messing with the waiters one night, and they played like 2 or 3 bar songs in a row. We tried to climb down off the bar, and they would start a new one, and we had to jump back up again.
sure, get you to do the work.
Yeah.
But sometimes that increased our tips too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it didn't.
The old ladies loved it.
Yeah, right. It depends on who was in your section.
I remember the first night I worked there. It was the bar song comes up, and I go, "I'm not getting up there," but I did. And then Billy was working, and Bill says, "Hey, Tom, nobody gets up the first night," and I go, "Great, I did it."
Yeah.
So did you guys ever get up and do Temptation?
Yeah, but probably not as often as y'all did.
We did it all the time in Denver.
So in New Orleans, what were the 3 main bar songs? Who could tell me?
Bourbon Street Parade,
Bourbon Street
The
Parade.
Mermaid, and How You Gonna Keep Them Down in the Farm?
That's the 3.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
One of the ones in Denver was deep in the heart of Texas. We'd get up on the bar, and there was a big square air duct right above the bar, and we'd get up there and we'd go deep in the heart of Texas and bang on the air duct and came close to knocking it down a few times.
And then there was the Roll Out the Barrel, where we
Yeah.
tried to hurt anybody in the audience.
Here's just a picture of the area around the club in New York.
Oh yeah, Traveler's Garage. That's where I kept my motorcycle. And that wonderful little restaurant down on the left with the ninth circle. Yeah, that was great.
Jay used to go over there between sets.
Remember the restaurant across the street, the Riv?
Oh,
he
yeah.
he went to the Riviera, yeah, right. But you had to go early because the audience wasn't all that friendly after that.
Well, I was thinking about the changes in America, and I go, nobody hitchhikes anymore.
They don't dare.
I remember coming back from college and stuff, 100 miles and hitchhiking, and trucks
And
would
they-
pick you up, and people would pick you up.
Oh yeah, sure.
Then the movie The Hitcher came out, and everybody stopped doing it.
Too many freaks and weirdos out there anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Well, we don't have any pictures of the Denver club, but
Really?
I did.
Yeah,
I
I
did
got
find
that
this.
picture.
Yeah, I don't know why we never had any pictures. I wish now I had some pictures of the front, because especially with the fire truck bus parked out inside, that was a long, narrow club with the bar on the right when you came in, and then the stage was down about halfway down on the right. Seated, I don't know, a couple hundred people, but squeezed in like crazy, like all the clubs, and
Yeah, because the
wasn't
front
very big, but
not
boy,
that
it was packed.
Imagine you go to Larimer Square Historical Society and get some shots.
Did y'all have a big Oktoberfest out there or something?
Oh yeah, every year, and St. Patrick's Day was insane. Green beer. We'd put kegs of beer on the fire truck in the parade and get the people, give it out to people along the street on the parade route. And we had the Jefferson County Mounted Sheriff's Department half drunk one year.
Hmm.
Ah, the good old days.
Mounted sheriff. Oh my goodness.
We did Oktoberfest as well. I remember we'd have hot dogs boiled in beer, and there was time we would sell dark.
That would be.
Sell low.
Oh, we
We'd
had the
sell
bratwurst. Yeah.
Oh,
we would sell Lowenbrow, and we'd have big pretzels, hot dogs boiled in beer, and sauerkraut.
And we also
had
had wine.
polka
which was
cocktails.
crazy.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day, we'd paint the Larimer Street out in front of the club green, all kinds of stuff written on it. And Dana Crawford, who developed Larimer Square, got madder than hell at us every year. So we'd hide out in the basement drinking beer till about 3 o'clock in the morning, go out and paint it and make her really crazy.
Yeah. Actually,
And
I
Denver's
discovered
got
that
one
I
of the
like
biggest
that
St. Patty's Day parades or St. Patty's Day celebrations in the country. Not as big as New York, but it's like
Big
one of the
parade.
2 or 3 biggest.
Yeah, big parade.
crazy.
We'd go in the parade and then we'd come back to the club and get smashed for 14 hours.
Mm.
Sounds like
We're
Mardi
all
Gras.
green.
I just
I've got a little clip. Now, the trouble is, ever since I've updated my computer, I haven't figured it out. Sometimes after I play a clip, I get kicked off and I have to boot back in, but I'll try it anyway.
Check
It's
this
a
out. I'm going to show you.
Hello? That wasn't me. Okay. Let me see if I can find it here. Take a second. Glasses, I could read better. Okay, this was I compiled this a little bit from our last reunion with different musicians. It pixelates a bit, but you can still hear it and see it okay. If it'll play.
68 in Denver, Colorado, playing tuba.
Oh, okay.
And as it turned out, the instrumentation, of course, was for 2 banjos, trombone, tuba. And one of the banjo players was leaving, and they wanted to know if I wanted to play. So I went and brought a banjo and a book, and 2 weeks later, instead of working 2 nights a week as a sub, I'm working 5 nights a week as a side banjo player. So, and then took over the band, several months later.
My grandmother started me on a ukulele, and my dad had a banjo in a closet. And that was it. The rest is
showbiz history. What's my favorite mustache song? I would say Hello My Baby. Hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime gal.
Joe Schiavone was one of the biggest musical influences I ever had in my entire life. Thanks to him, I went to the White House and Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium and Radio City Music Hall and New Orleans Mardi Gras. We just had a great time. 7 of the best years of my life.
That was before you met me, right?
That's where we met.
I'm only kidding.
That's where we met.
You met in the
Yeah, we
father's
met
house?
in, yeah.
So you were attracted to banjo playing?
Well, I didn't realize at the time, but it worked out that way.
Okay, why do I play the banjo? My mother bought my dad a banjo for Christmas one year with 10 lessons. So he oh boy, he always said he wanted to play the banjo. So he goes to his first lesson. He sits down and waiting and waiting and waiting. Nobody ever came for him. Somebody finally said, "What we can help you, sir?" And he says, "Well, I'm waiting for my banjo lessons." He says, "Oh, well, we thought you were in here to buy something, or something. We thought some kid was going to come." He didn't see the humor in that. He took his banjo, went home, and never went back. So now there's a banjo with 10 lessons in the house. And I said, well, heck, I'll pick up the banjo and go to the 10 lessons. And I took my 10 lessons, and the rest is history. That's it. My dear old mom hadn't bought Dad a banjo. I never would have played the dang thing.
Same story as mine. My mother bought my father a washboard back in the Ukraine. He went for lessons. The Tsar said no. And there was a washboard and lessons attached to it, and the rest is history. Amazing, amazing.
You want to smuggle the daughter out of the country?
Absolutely, in my washboard cover.
I didn't decide to play a banjo. My mom decided I had to play the banjo. I have no idea how she knew that. But my mom's work in strange ways, as all of us have had moms, and I assume most of us have. She bought me a banjo when I was about 15 years old. I brought it upstairs in the closet, and I left it there for 5, 6, 7 years. I didn't play it. I didn't even see it. And one day, out of impulse, I took the banjo and I started to play it. And I went to I found a teacher and learned how to play the banjo. And then along came your father's mustache. I played a lot. So that's the whole story. And here I am today, still playing the banjo.
All these banjo players I've worked with has just allowed me to learn more and more about playing my tuba. Tuba and banjo go well together. Banjo players like tuba players. I go to these banjo reunions and banjo festivals and all, and I'm a tuba player, and I get to play more than any banjo player who's there because I get to play with all the different banjo players. So it works out good for me. Yeah.
Those are great clips, Billy.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, very nice.
We lost Billy again.
Yeah, I think we lost Bill. Bill, where are you?
Billy who?
Hey, Chris, are you in Italy?
Yes, I am. I am in Rome right now.
What is it there, 10, 11 o'clock or something?
It's about 11:40.
Oh, wow. And you're still up?
Not for long.
You go hang around the Vatican?
Well, the city is so crowded with people, you can't believe it. Everybody comes and comes to Rome during the Christmas holiday season. And so when you go into Centro, the center part of town where all of the Piazza Navona and the other places that people like to go and see, you can barely walk on the street. It's really crowded.
Like Mardi Gras.
It'll loosen up next week. Kids have to go back to school, stuff like that.
Hey, Billy's back.
I'm back.
Hey, Bill. That was a great clip.
It doesn't do that when I show pictures, but every time I show a video, it kicks me out if I want to get back on. So I don't know. Something wrong. So. but y'all could hear and see it okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
It's great. Good job. Well, I was looking, I just went online to see if there's any pictures of Larimore Square of your father's mustache. And this popped up. So I don't know if it's going to play or what, but I'm going to try. Make sure you know, let me know if you hear it.
Is so deeply rooted in American entertainment history as the banjo. Now, here are the banjoists and waiters call themselves your father's mustache. So let's have a play.
We don't have it, Billy.
It's Tom. It's kind of dragging. Yeah, Tom, the image is frozen and we're not getting the sound.
Nope.
Hey, Tom, can you hear me?
We don't have it on this.
And let's see if I can check. Hey, Tom.
Tom looked like Tom left.
You know, he's there. I just don't know if he can hear what we're hearing. Hey, Tom, let's see.
All of those Ed Sullivan clips are on the Father's Mustache Facebook page.
I just sent Tom a text. But anyway, no, I have a really good clip of that. It was part of they had inserted it into the memorial video, and it looks really good. I just can't get to it right now. I guess Tom can't tell what we're doing.
Boy, ever since he turned 73, we're running into this kind of thing.
Yeah.
What is it, frozen, Billy?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happened to me too. It'll play okay on your own screen, but it doesn't play well for everybody else. That's why I always check. But
Could you hear that?
No, it was frozen.
No,
and the
Tom.
audio was not there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's it.
But it was it looked good. Joel had a good time during that.
Yes.
Joan had a good time.
Yeah.
So Joan was Joan always playing? She always played with Joel. She was always on the left side.
Joel was stupid as he looked.
Well, for those of who care about these things, at the half, it's Notre Dame 13, Georgia's 3.
Okay.
Wow. I thought Georgia Tech was thought Georgia was good, but
Georgia is good. You watch the second half.
Just pull up a couple of pictures because I know we'll get kicked out with those. Let's see. Okay, get out of there. There you go.
Hey, Pete and Barry.
That was from the 50th reunion.
Oh, yeah. Couple of Hall of Famers there.
Where was that taken?
New York.
The lobby of the hotel.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the lobby.
Yeah. Well, down by that little bar area, you know.
Right.
We kind of took over the bar.
Sure did.
And Bonnie and I thought it was funny because we were going down to see everybody, and somebody stopped us because the band was already playing, and Tom and Kent had called me to come down, and this girl stops us. She says, "Is this some kind of old people's convention or something?"
Yes.
I said,
Wait, if we were there now.
"Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We were young then.
Yeah,
true.
it's funny."
And what was that? 12 years ago or something?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, pretty much.
2011.
2011.
2011. 13, 12, 13 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're getting bad when the pictures of reunions are nostalgic.
Yeah, really.
And the other day I was talking about, they said the good old days. And I said, well, what's the good old days to you? And they said, well, the 90s. I went, oh, shit. It's a different meaning to me, the good old days.
Well, good old days to us were the 50s.
50s and 60s, you know?
Yep.
Early 70s.
That's our last one.
That is Marty Fay.
Yeah. Marty Fay. Marty Fay went all out.
Yeah, he did. Plus,
I wish he'd come on the call once in a while.
that
He
say
tried, but
Detroit on the bottom
his
left?
phone.
What'd you say?
He
Under
tried.
New York, does that say Detroit? I'm
He only
trying to read
did it
it.
with the audio of his phone.
Yeah, I don't know. He corresponds with me on email and on
Sure.
Facebook, but I don't. He doesn't get on the Zoom though. Yeah, I think does that say Detroit at the very bottom? Yeah, it
That's
says.
what I'm thinking.
No, that says Denver. It's kind of scuffed up.
Oh, Denver. Okay.
New York, Boston,
That makes more
New York,
sense.
Denver, Blackpool, England. When I was there, was still besides those, we had Vancouver, British Columbia, Brussels, Belgium.
Chris, why do you think the Philadelphia club didn't make it?
Beats me. It was, I mean, we packed them in, and they had a like a balcony area. People would sit up there, and they sat in front of us
right.
on the main level.
That's right. I forgot the balcony. You're right. Yeah.
How long did Philadelphia last?
I started there in '66, so
Well, it was gone by 69, I think, right?
yeah, I think so.
The reason I asked the question because I did a bunch of summers in Wildwood, New Jersey, which is the Philadelphia crowd. Same
Right.
people.
Yep.
They were the
Philly.
singingest people I ever played for.
Yep.
I mean, they knew the words to every song. They were the singingest people. I just wondered why it wouldn't work in Philadelphia if it worked an hour and a half away in New Jersey. Yeah.
Particularly when Philadelphia is the home of the Mummers.
Yeah, the Mummers.
Right.
They play
Yeah.
the mustache music. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the Mummers play at the Crew of Orpheus one year while I was shooting them, and they were a trip. You know, they were just sounded like old. I could just about sing along with all their songs.
Now, I do know there was a Red Garter also in Philadelphia. Maybe they got the business similar to Chicago. Chicago, the Red Garter got the business, and according to Roger, that's why we closed in Chicago because Red Garter was doing well.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a before
Might
and
have
after
been the same
picture.
as Philly.
Donnie Jean and Ira.
Yeah.
I think that was Connecticut.
Oh,
The
Lord.
one on the left.
That was 87 in Connecticut, and
Right.
then
And then the one in New Haven.
New Haven 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, I'm glad you all New Orleans are safe.
Yeah.
I know Danny was, I think, working that night till 1 a.m.
Yeah. He
They
said
got out of there 2 hours before that happened.
Yeah.
it wasn't too far from where he works, but I don't know
Where
which.
was he at that Hotel Maison Bourbon or something?
Yeah.
He did a 600 block, and it went up to right up to the 400 block. So he was 2 blocks away.
Well, that's a terrible thing that happened.
Well, even when I worked in the quarter, though, I never walked that way after work. I would usually have parked farther away from Canal Street.
Yeah, we were saying earlier that the pickup truck made it up to about the famous door,
Oof.
right before the famous door. For those of you who could picture it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's pretty classic.
Yeah.
There's the usual suspects right there. Yeah. That's the last time
So here's a Fred story. When Tom and I got to New Orleans, Fred had already left the mustache. But my mom, I grew up in rural Bible Belt, Missouri, and my mom was concerned that I was in New Orleans because she had heard bad things about New Orleans. I don't know why. But anyway, Fred's brother, John, used to be the youth director at the First Baptist Church in Bolivar, Missouri, which is where my mom was the custodian hostess there. And so once I talked to Fred and I learned that, I called her and said, well, don't worry about me in New Orleans because the guy who was just here as a manager, his brother was John Hendricks, who was the youth director. You know John really well. He had left the church by that time. And that satisfied her that I was working at a wholesome place on Bourbon Street.
Oh, yeah, very wholesome.
Good job.
Little did she know.
She apparently had never been to the annual Waiters Ball.
That's true. Or the spring water rights in Bacchanalia, so.
Yeah.
But what are the odds that you'll end up working at a place on Bourbon Street that the guy who just left as manager, his brother was the youth director at the little church in a little town in Missouri that you went to?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I like that picture, y'all. That's good.
That's good.
That's a good picture. Yeah.
Right. Fred wasn't there when I got hired. Bruce Wilson hired me, but it was like not too long before Mardi Gras, and my friend that I was in high school with, Tommy Barrios, started working there, and I was tired of working nights at D.H. Holmes, $1.65 an hour, So he said, "Oh yeah, you can make $20-$30 every Saturday night," which was a lot of money. It was more than my take-home pay for a week at Holmes. So I went down and wasn't much of an interview. He just kind of looked at me and says, "You get a white shirt and black pants and come back here tonight." So I was like, okay. They did give me a shoestring tie though. I'll tell you that. So. Of course, the first couple nights I got the really lousy sections. It wasn't real busy before Mardi Gras. I think a lot of the waiters had parked their girls over in my section, So anyway, it was okay though.
Well, David and Roger hired Tom and I because we had crashed our van on our way to Central America. And there was this gal named Barbara who knew David and Roger. And I don't know how, or don't need to know how really. But anyway, she took us in, introduced us, and I think we were hired about as quick as Billy was then. It was not an in-depth interview. There was no reference check or anything.
And we are so lucky that we got that job instead of going to Central America.
Oh.
That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
And back then,
Yes.
when you were coming up to the bar, you'd scream a pitcher light and a box of nuts out of 5.
Out of 5.
So you get change back from a $5 bill for 64 ounces of beer and a box of nuts.
Yeah. You had to have your money.
The good old days.
You had to have your money facing the right way too, and
that's exactly right.
Liquor, beer, and then miscellaneous things.
Beer and
Soft
wine.
drinks.
Have your money
Soda
out of what and face your money the right way. They send you to the back of the line.
And I still face my money the right way.
Yeah,
I
me
do
too.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure who this guy was, but
His name's Ken. He was from New York.
okay.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez.
That was
Who was that,
73.
Mike? Ken who?
What?
Ken who?
I don't know what his last name was. All I know is his name. I
Oh,
remember
Kenny,
that.
that's Kenny K.
That's right.
And that
Yeah,
was
he came from the Red
1973.
Garter, and when they closed, he came to the Mustache.
Kenny
The
K.
picture was
That's
73.
right. Ari, you're right. Kenny K.
That's Kenny K.
Well, he really rocks a brassiere and a tablecloth. I tell you what.
So Mike, when you said that was Ken, I thought you said that was Kent. I'm going, I don't remember that. Oh shit!
No, I can't.
That's
That
Kenny
was my
K.
presidential or my senator run right there.
It can't
His real
you
name
remember
was
much
Kenny
from 73
Klasko.
Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
Kenny
Wow.
K was trying out for the Big Bill Sawyer lookalike contest.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
right.
He wasn't big enough,
Except I
though.
never saw Bill in a bra though.
Oh,
Thank
no.
God.
Yeah.
He
Don't
used
give me
like
that
to,
image,
like to
please.
be in his big, huge boxer shorts on stage sometimes, though.
Kent, I believe I remember in my mind's eye, I remember seeing photos because occasionally the waiters would do a strip, but we'd go full Monty. And I think I remember seeing Kent and somebody else up on the bar, and I think somebody snapped some pictures of it. Does that sound familiar?
We're
gonna strip?
Should I admit it? Well, let's just
Yeah.
say that I'm glad there was a fire that destroyed the evidence.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we were in
I remember seeing the pictures of it. I wasn't there. It was
newspaper
like,
Figaro or something with Happy Mardi Gras on our cheeks.
yeah, on the butt.
Yeah.
I gave it to my mother, and she was proud of me.
It was spell it right. I'm trying to remember.
I'll tell you what, guys, I got an early morning meeting with the Pope, so I'm going to
Hey,
check out.
give him our best.
Early morning. That's like in a couple of
See you,
hours for you.
Chris.
We'll be on next
Right.
week, so.
Give it the Pope of my love.
Oh, yeah, I will.
How much for this?
Next
Hey,
week.
Chris, we'll
huh?
see you next week.
Next week is fine.
Yeah, next week I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll
See
be
you.
here.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Ciao
Good
a
show.
tutti.
All right, Chris.
Have a good New Year, everybody.
Take care, y'all.
Happy New Year.
We,
Yeah.
All right.
We're on for next week, right?
Yeah.
Next week, Ira.
Good.
Great. Get
Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
in here, Barry.
Yeah, be on time, Ira.
Well, hope 2025 gets a little better. You know, but
I'll drink to that. Yeah.
Hey, we
Hey,
all
Billy, how you
survived.
feeling? Back to normal?
I'm feeling. I developed a cough New Year's Eve, and I'm still fighting that, but no fever. And I'm going to see the doctor tomorrow for a follow up, and they can do chest X-rays and all that. So I figured I'll just let her tell me if there's anything to worry about. It's just been I didn't want to go to an ER around here because my sister works in an ER, or she knew nurses that did, and she says it's ridiculous there down here. Everybody's in with respiratory infections, you know, with pneumonia, CV. What is that? Not CV, or the
RSV?
She says it's crazy. She says if you don't have to go to a Ready Med, don't do it right now. So I said okay. So unless things get, but I've already got a doctor follow up scheduled for tomorrow morning. But that's it. Otherwise, I've been still moving around. In fact, I can tell my chest feels better because I've been coughing my head off, and it hasn't been killing me. You know, so
Well, that's a good sign.
things must be
Yes,
healing.
it is.
Because those first couple of days, even if you hiccuped or something, you kind of go, oh, son of a bitch, you know.
Yeah.
But no, they took pictures on Monday of my incision, and they said it's as far as they're concerned, it's healed. They're not even gonna come back and look at it. You know,
Good.
It's just the inside stuff they're gonna take a look at. You know, so anyway, but thank y'all for checking in on me. I appreciate that. It made me feel good. You know, and you know.
Hey, Billy, I was looking at YouTube the other night, and remember you used to tell there's no fucking broccoli joke on stage. That was one of your great ones. Well, I don't know if you've seen this. Harrison Ford was on one of the late night shows, and he told the same joke. He stole your joke. You told it better.
Yeah, there ain't no fucking broccoli. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we used to tell a lot of that. Was another. Sometimes if it wasn't working, Eddie or Kent or Tom would call me and say, "Billy, give me another joke. We're running out over here." So you know, we used to tell a lot of jokes out there, and it'd be like I don't know if you remember the old Welcome Back Kotter show where Kotter would
Oh my God, yeah.
go home and tell his wife Julie a joke, and that was like Bonnie, poor Bonnie, because if I heard new jokes, the way you remember them is you find somebody to tell them to right away after you.
That's
heard
right.
it.
Yeah.
So Bonnie might be 3 a.m. Bonnie, I got jokes. And I had to tell them to her, you know. So
Bet you was real happy to hear that, right?
yeah. She put up with me. Still 53 years, you know, so it might last.
Maybe.
So far, so good, huh?
Yes,
Good.
indeed. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. And I guess
Well, I gotta go.
Thank you for being here.
So see y'all next
Thank you,
week.
Bill.
next week.
Thank you,
See you
Tom.
next
guys.
week.
We'll be on next week.
Bye.
See you
Thanks.
next
We'll
week.
see you
Have
next
a good week.
Bye.
Yes.
Happy
Lord
New-
willing, the creek don't rise, as they say.
Stay off Bourbon Street.